Say it like a prayer. Still here, still kind. You and me alive. Rehab Bromance. 3 guys, 1 flame. Rehab Bromance. Say it like a prayer.
Welcome to Rehab Bromance Dad Edition. Raph, you want to introduce who we got today?
Yeah, so I was going to make a joke about my stepfather. So we got my dad in the building today. And, me and my dad, we've told our stories before at a treatment center that I work. And it's really helped a lot of the families bridge the gap between, like, seeing their family member, son, daughter, etc., and help them understand our side of the disease, but also help him have someone more to relate with as well, and then to relate to him and see the hope in that.
And help them understand that, like, oh, we're not that bad.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I did this too. The first episode of our podcast I had my dad on too. That was yeah. So
well, that's great. That's amazing.
So be nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, no. So and I remember when we had started the thing. Shit, was it a year ago with me, you, and Sherry?
Probably so at Victory, yeah.
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 And so
it's been a year.
Yeah, because she had said we're talking about new ideas to kind of make Victory a little bit better, make Victory great again, and make Victory better. And we were like, well, you know what would be really cool is once a month we bring in a speaker of an alumni and their family member, and they both tell the sides of their story. And so in my head, I was self-centeredly looking at it like building the resume kind of thing. Like, okay, that'll be cool to add to it. And then we did it the first time, and it was great. And then the second time we did it, and I pulled my head out of my ass, and I was able to kind of see that moment of like seeing a sponsee get it, or see a sponsee cling to the people around them. And I was kind of seeing my dad have that with these people in a sense. Like, it was like, oh, this is way bigger than just like the paycheck. You know what I mean? And it hit me hard, man. I remember calling my sponsor that, and I was like, dude, I was getting emotional. My dad's connecting with these random people, and it's really cool. They're leaning on each other. And when I left, my dad stayed. So I was like,
yeah,
that was awesome.
That's how, like, my mom has been always relating to the other. Anytime I have, especially when I was working with kids, but yeah, anytime parents that I was close with would struggle with their kids, I'd just send them to my mom, because I bet you can ask her how she dealt with it, because I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you see them suffering, and it just really...
The kids, you mean? Like
No, parents.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And what they're going... And I know that's what I went through. And it's... you can't explain it, how bad it is. It's what the parents are going through. So, any input I could give to them, I did. And the main thing, you got to be right with God and have faith. And if you don't, you're going to fail. And I promise you I know. And if I wouldn't have, I couldn't have held on.
Yeah.
What was when I got sober the first time, stayed sober about 2-3 months, and I was battling depression and all this stuff. Like, I'm talking about like a Walking Dead zombie, just dry as all get out. And we would sit on the front porch, and you drink your coffee, because I think you just cut off the alcohol just for me at that time. And we were talking, and I remember saying to you, I was like, I don't know how much longer I can make it if this medicine doesn't kick in. And it was eventually leading me to Zoloft. Thank God for Zoloft. But I remember having those conversations, because me and you've always had those conversations of like, we butt heads a lot because we're a lot of the same. Like, I grew up with you. A lot of who I am today is because of you. Good, bad, in between, all of it.
Yeah.
And so we've always had that, like, kind of like a brotherly relationship too, where we was able to say what was on our hearts. And I remember you told me, you go, I prayed for God to take you because of how painful it was to watch you suffer in hell.
Yeah, to see Rafe, the devil had him. And Rafe he didn't want to live. And I prayed and I asked God as much, and I love my kids, to take Rafe. And that was hard. And, but we made it through, and by praying, and God give us that strength. And we went through a lot of hard times. And when Rafe was out, I wouldn't go to sleep. I had that cell phone by my nightstand, maybe waiting on that phone call or door knock from a state trooper that, you got in a wreck, got killed someone. And it was tough. It was hard. But like I say, with the faith and praying with God, I pulled through it, and he did. And he got to victory, and he got a very good counselor, amazing man that really built a good platform for him, and that really helped Rafe out a lot.
My parents did my mom too. Yeah, similar thing. Just like if you're not gonna heal him, then just give him that rest. What? So I'm curious though. So what's your history with alcoholism and addiction? Like, what was your growing? Like is it in the family?
Well,
is
it's
it
in the family. It was
your parents or
no, my mom and dad. My dad did drink, but not all the time. But my two brothers, one was it was cocaine, the other one was alcohol.
Older, younger?
Older.
Okay.
Correct. And on my ex-wife's side, it was her brother and her father. So it definitely, the disease was there. And
so are you the youngest in the family?
No, my sister that she got killed at 21 in a car wreck, she was younger than I.
So yours.
Right.
So how far did it go with your brother's addiction?
It was bad.
It was bad?
It was bad. Yeah, really bad. It was like race. It was that bad,
So this is like a generational thing. So how did your father and mother handle your brother's addictions?
It was hard on them, especially my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really suffered a lot from it,
Did your brothers ever like get through it?
Did she get through it?
Did your brothers get through it?
They did.
It was just kind of like
They did. They certainly did. Come through it. Did well. Yes, they did.
And like back then, I'm sure with your parents, like the understanding of addiction was not where it is today. It was much more of like a moral issue,
right.
Of like it wasn't like they have a disease. It was just like why can't y'all just get it together, sort of
right.
thing.
Well, it took me. I didn't understand it at first myself. I had to go to 2 different counselors, doctors, to get that in my head. It was a disease.
Yeah.
I just couldn't understand it, but now I do, and it is a disease.
What do you think, of course, in retrospect, what was like the first signs you saw that Rafe was going a path, but you kind of, because I know I've done it with like people that I love. It's like we choose to look over it, right? Where it's like, it might be bad, but maybe he's just going through something. But then on the other side, you can look back and be like, oh, that was a definite sign that I kind of just hoped wasn't there. Can you remember like the first inklings of trouble with him?
It was probably when Rafe was, I could really, that tell was when he was 18 years old. Because we lived together, we were very close. When he come up young, I was always there for him. We went to LSU football games together all the time. We traveled together, paintball together with all of his friends. Yes, and then I knew, I could tell there was a problem.
Yeah.
And where we lived at one time, it was we lived on 100 acres and the office was up front. Well, we lived probably a half a mile on that same place, and I was at my office up front, and I don't know why, it had to be God, just told me to go back there and just check on Rafe, and I did, and I walked in his bedroom, and he was on the floor out. And I got him up. I don't know how I got him up. Got him in the truck, and got him to the emergency room. And they pumped him out, kept him overnight. And if I wouldn't have come in there, Rafe wouldn't have made it.
That was when he was 18?
No, that's down the line.
Oh,
yes, down the line. Yes.
But if you could remember, like,
did y'all ever drink together, like growing up, like, first beer with your son, sort of thing?
Margarita.
Yeah.
We had a margarita when I was younger, and I remember I spilt it, and I was so pissed.
Because you're like,
and they didn't give me another one. Yeah. But we didn't really. No, we didn't. Like even like when you knew what I was doing, you weren't stupid to the fact that, okay, like it was almost a boys will be boys kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I think, like, and like looking back at it, like there was some co-signing of like teenage behavior, but also we live in Louisiana, right? They play football, they party on the weekends, they go to school on the weekdays, kind of thing.
Work hard, party hard, sort of thing.
Yeah, but he never drank with me. It wasn't like we might have had like a handful of drinks together during like my younger years, and it wasn't until like we got older to where we'd go out to the bar and have a drink at Rufino's or Outback or whatnot when I was just drinking and it wasn't a problem yet. Can you remember like anything specific where like when I was younger or like around 18 when I was like, you were like, oh shit, okay, something's starting to become an issue.
I mean, when you come home, I could just see it. I mean, we've been together so close, and I could tell just in your eyes and your talking, your mood, you was a totally different person. And saying that was a problem.
What? Okay. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's the worst. That's what I've realized is just the worst thing too. Where I have like really, you get to know someone really well, and then because for us, when we get high, we feel like a more genuine version of ourselves, and so it's like, oh, everyone loves me. When the ugly truth is, even if you're just like my friend would have a different laugh. It's just like you are not you, and the people that love you know that. And it's like everything that you do is like filtered through this lens of like that's not him though. I don't care what he's saying, what he's doing. It's not him, and it's like you can't shake that. You can't like ignore it. You can't. Yeah, that sucks. It sucks. It's really, it's like it's a.
Yeah, I remember many a times. I mean, it found me, overdosed, or the time I, attempted suicide and my jaw was like split open between my jaw and my throat, and then the car accidents. I remember him and Claire, basically like my stepmom, and she is like my stepmom. That he might not claim it, but I'll claim it. And they went to the hospital with me where they're stapling my head, and I was like just screaming in pain, and they were there the entire time beside me. And my mom took the other route of like tough love, and it wasn't wrong, you know what I mean? It was her way of doing it, just like Dad's was like probably too much codependent mesh love. So like, you know what I mean? You had both love on different sides of it, you know what I mean? But they were, Dad and Claire were, man, I mean, Dad, oh God, man. I could not imagine my life without my father, just because looking back, he's been there in every single facet healthy, unhealthy, but there.
I never gave up on him. I didn't. I didn't give up on him, and thank God I didn't. And now look where he's at.
Yeah.
And it's
No, it's
you don't give up on your child. It's whether it's your husband, your wife, or your son. You just don't give up, and I didn't. And we went through some hard times, I'm gonna tell you. And it was probably 3 different times that we had to go and get Ray pumped out. And the worst one was when I found him. And
what was that situation? What did you?
This is the day you came home.
when I come home, and
What did you do, Ray? Like what?
Probably it was probably
You don't even remember?
It was probably during that time. I know it was Xanax related,
Yeah.
And
but
alcohol,
probably methadone. Methadone and Xanax. I think.
Jeez. Yeah.
I can remember kind of coming in and out like a video, like in my head. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where you're like you fade in, you fade out,
That's the coroner special right there.
and I'm in the back of the truck telling Dad not to take me to the hospital.
no,
then-
you were in the front.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you go.
but
Exhibit A.
you was not. If I wouldn't have got there, he would have died. It'd been
Yeah.
over with. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
just-
when you say like you never give up on your kid, which yes, and with that, and I'm sure you've learned about like the enabling word and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. Do you remember like taking advantage of that?
Oh, yeah.
Like
God,
thinking in the back of your head, like it doesn't matter what I do,
Yeah.
Pops is gonna bail me out.
Yeah, well, that was a big part of like why it may and may not have took me longer to get to realize my situation, how dire it was, because a lot of like the things I learned. I remember, so it ties back to a lot when I was my teenage years when Mom and Dad got a divorce, and I had this big fear that Mom was gonna take me from my father. And I remember we were going to check on the old house we lived in. We were on the 100-acre land, and we went to drive up. So you're going up a half a mile road, and pitch black, just you and your dad in this little single wide vehicle, the White Lightning. And but we're having this talk, and I eventually just opened up to him about how scared I was because I had this weird relationship with my mom at the time, but how scared I was that she was going to take me.
How old were you?
Between 11 and
12,
13.
okay.
Yeah, you were 12 at that time, and
But what did you tell me when I said, Dad, I don't want Mom to take me away, and you said, we'll drive to Mexico tonight.
yeah. So,
But not like
Yeah,
this,
'cause-
like, not this, like, asshole way, like,
no, I know.
No.
Just basically, like, I'm not gonna let that happen.
No, and I gave Rafe the option, and I told him I'd fully support him. If he wanted to move with his mother, he could, and he'll tell you that that was definitely. But he wanted to live with me, and he went through a bad fear that I didn't realize till I learned later in life. It still comes up and bothers me, and I know when he was like 12 and bring him to school, he didn't want to go to school, and I couldn't figure out why. But eventually, he thought maybe if he come back and I would be gone. And that was horrible. Yeah.
You felt a lot of.
in a way,
Yeah, there's a lot working behind the scenes on that whole thing where like your like feeling of responsibility and like that's and what's truly, and this is into what's truly evil about addiction and like the devil and all that is it will take the most vulnerable aspects and be like, I can use that to get what I want, which is to get high.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna get to, like tying it from the childhood and then going back, because like I said, like I really had this biggest. I was throwing up and literally like shitting my pants almost all the time in school because I was so anxious that he was not going to be here when I got home.
Yeah.
So, but then it ties back, later on after seeing him show up, it was like it destroyed my delusion.
Right.
It destroyed his actions, destroyed my delusion of my thought process of that over time, and it took a while. It had nothing to do with him, had everything to do with me, on my mindset. And so then, of course, in addiction, it was like the greatest tool. I'm going to turn it into my greatest weapon.
Yeah, absolutely.
My brain's like,
oh, that's a huge.
oh, like, you know what? I know. Here's the thing. I hurt my family more than I hurted anyone else in my addiction because I knew my family wouldn't leave me.
Right.
And that, like, and not in the sense of like wanting to, but in the sense of having to survive. Like,
Yes.
my disease was like, this is how you do it.
This
And
is
then do that, and that night cry about it, and then do it all over again the next day if could.
Because you have to, because then you feel guilty about what you're doing, and it's this awful cycle.
But you have no control over it.
And my kids and grandkids, which I love my grandkids same as my kids, and all of them will tell you that I love them. I always stick with them. No matter what, how hard it is, I'm there with them. And I work today. I love to work. I thank God I can go to work. I just thank God I get up and breathe every morning, and I'm so blessed to be able to do that, And I want to help them in their lives do better. And but it was a tough road to hoe. But I was basically in Claire, my girlfriend. She was there for me a lot.
She's a saint. Shout out to you, Claire.
She
We love
really
you.
helped me a lot with Rafe, and it was tough. It was hard.
How do you think so? And this is so with my dad. I know it was a lot of compartmentalization for him. My mom, it was more difficult. But in regards to how did you? So during the time period when you were like, any moment now, I'm gonna get a call that my son's dead. How did you wake up and even go about your day? Like, how did you exist with that? With that fear.
Well, it was fear, but I got up and I sat and I prayed to God by myself for 25 or 30 minutes. And if you're not right with God, even today with things wrong, you got a problem. And that's the only thing that pulled me was God and faith. And if I would have had that, I'd never made it.
And it's crazy because in my addiction, my sister was going through some struggles at the time, and my father was like full throttle. How could I be of service to my his daughter?
Yeah.
And his faith was not there before. It was there, but it wasn't.
Set the scene more. So like when you were.
So talking about his relationship with his God. Well, I guess he had always had faith, correct? But your part wasn't there with God.
It really, my faith in God has grown amazing. Look, don't get me wrong. I've done some things and I'm gonna tell you one thing, and I thank God every day for this. He whipped me, and He got me straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we relate. I think we relate.
Yeah, that's the. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
And that's the greatest thing ever. I thank Him every day for it.
Yeah. What is that verse? He chastises those He loves. Not chastises, but He tests those He loves. Produces endurance. Yeah. My family would agree to that, especially in America. You don't need God until you really need Him. You could arrange your life in such a way that you're financially comfortable, everyone's in good health. Sure, I go to church, everything's great. You don't really need, right? And it really is a blessing to be brought to a transformative place where you need God so much that it deepens the relationship in a way that is not possible any other way.
Yeah.
And our family's faith has evolved through it. I mean,
I I'll tell you right now, and I say this to God every day, without Jesus Christ, my Almighty God, I don't want to live. I don't want to be in this world.
Yep.
But I thank Him.
Well, it's interesting because going back to what I was saying about my sister was going through some trials and tribulations. That's another time for another day. And my dad's relationship with God wasn't strong at that point.
No.
And it started to build then.
That's it.
And so I was watching my dad support my sister. I didn't want to be a part of that at that moment because of my own bullshit.
Yeah.
And seeing his relationship grow with God, and he kept talking more about God. And I remember I would just be like, "Fuck your God."
Yeah, and he did.
I was very bitter. I was very
Like explicitly, you said that.
Yeah, I'd get mad.
Well, I'd be praying on the couch, and Raph would just talk bad about God, but I didn't stop. I kept praying.
Wow.
And I kept talking to God. But
What was going? Do you remember? Like, what was going through your mind? Like when you would see him doing that?
He took my dad.
Oh wow.
You took the only thing I had left.
Yeah.
You motherfucker.
That's
the way I
that's so self-centered. Like,
Yeah.
but it's like,
yeah.
But it's
yeah.
Well, because
Man,
God,
that's interesting.
God had caused me to get raped. God had caused me to go to
okay.
jail.
Okay.
God had put me in juvie because I'd supposedly raped a girl. Didn't rape her. But my
Okay.
point is, my God was this son of a bitch.
No, that's a
bit.
big. No, yeah, like no, those are big. Yeah, no, those are
And
those are big initial.
reasons of why
Yeah.
I didn't have
So
faith.
you're like, now this,
You
now
take the
this
one
too, my
thing.
last. And well, in a lot of ways, and this is why, like, I take the responsibility of fatherhood so seriously. Psychologically, our first idea of God comes from our fathers. That's a psychological fact. That's just how, like, we are wired, right? Our parents specifically, but like fathers more specifically. And so, like, you know, his God took your God in a way. You know, this was my everything, and especially if you're not. Yeah, what a complicated spiritual place that was in.
Yeah.
When did you talk? When did your dad find out about your getting molested as a kid?
I think I was dating this girl. I was about 21, 22, and I'd suppressed it for so long. I'd like completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
And not even from the drugs and alcohol, from my mind. That's how strong.
That's
How
how
it goes.
Dissociative.
And I was having this conversation with this girl at the time, and she's like, anything ever happen to you? And I kind of thought, and I was like, holy shit. And I relived it right then and there. And I remember telling my dad about it. And I'm glad, like, I wish I would have been able to tell someone at the time. I'm glad I didn't tell my dad because, like I've said this before, my dad would have walked over there and done what he would have had to do.
Right.
Because I would have done the same for my son, whatever. But, having the love and support of my father, my mom, and especially my sister at the time. Because me and my sister have always had this up-down relationship. It's been very weird, to say the least, and I love her to death. But, that's my sissy, dude. Like,
Same. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, can be a raging you-know-what, but she's also my sister, and I love her. And so to see the pain and them embrace the pain with me, but also love and support me during that time, which I've seen before, past when it goes to me back in juvie. Seeing that love.
Sure, this is kind of a ratcheted to a different level, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and if anything, it kind of coincides with it too, because then it was the flip side of it, but false accusations.
Right.
And so, but just having the support of him and able to share that with him in that moment with him, because where he grew up. No offense, it just wasn't a lot of emotions, and it was a lot of violence where you grew up, how you grew up, and you know what I mean. We don't have to get into details about like.
And like back then, that kind of yes, a different time where like things were common, things were not talked about.
Yeah, but my dad's always been like a protector, and I think it goes. I know it goes back to your mother.
Yeah, it does. That is correct. Yeah.
Would you mind sharing that story or no?
Well, you know,
You know what I'm talking about, huh?
well, yeah, to the point of my father was abused, and I love my dad and I forgive him.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
But he was very abusive to my mother, and she was my best friend. And I love her. She's not here. She's in heaven, and she was always there for me. She was my backbone as a child coming up, you know. But got that all through past. I you know, I don't let that bring. I don't bring. If it comes up, I block it and
Sure.
and ask God. I just leave it alone because it's not a good place to go, you know. And that's not what God wants me to do.
Right.
But it was hard, and I was going when Raph was going through his addiction. My daughter was going through a custody battle fight, and
It's a lot.
you just I can't explain it to you.
Yeah, I know.
And like I say, my kids and my grandkids, they're my life, and I love them. I love them to death. I love God more than anybody. My kid, even more my kids. And but you go through hard times, and it makes you strong. It does. And and I can face things now where I couldn't before because I have my faith with God and my prayers, you know. And
You know, it's so cool because I see your mother every day when I talk to you. I never met her,
yeah,
and I'm so grateful that you're more like her than your father. You know,
Yeah,
because I see the love and the kindness in this like big giant. Like I see the kid in you when I talk to you sometimes, and I think what that is your mother's love from that you got because like
it was.
it was something that it's so funny because like now, you know, being a father, a lot of my love language is what you did with me, but maybe on a different scale of like, I mean, like I'm always playing with him and giving and kissing on him and like, come here, and I'll talk to him in a random language like you would do, like hit up. Like he used to herd cattle, so he would talk to us like cattle. Which is fair because we kind of were.
They're just like, well,
Yeah. But it's so funny because like, you know, a lot of who I am today, good and bad, not I guess necessarily good or bad, but like who I am today is from you. You know, like when like love and like and always not afraid to say I love you, and work. Always look someone in the eye and shake their hand and make sure they're seen. And then like stubbornness is no doubt from you, and you know, and the forehead, no doubt from you. Like it's like, but like a lot of it I get from it. But so, you mind if I take a look?
No, go for it.
So like, when I remember when I told you I needed help, like the first time coming out of my mouth, and you were like, I was detoxing, remember? And you were like, come, I'll take care of you for a couple days and then we'll send you off to a treatment center. And during that time, was there any sense of he's not going to go through with it?
Well, sure.
Because of all the past?
Yes, and it was because Raph went to Palomino for 30 days and he wasn't ready.
Sure.
And he come out and actually started within 3 days probably, and he was back on it. He went to Victory, and Peter is his counselor. And I remember this phone call I got from Peter, and Raph was in, and Peter got me on the phone. He said, "Raph like to talk to you and apologize to you for some things." And I said, "Look, Peter,
You got this.
the past is over.
And I want one thing. I want him to go forward. He don't need to apologize to me. He's forgiven. That didn't matter. And I just wanted him to get well. And I got to give it to Peter. He built the foundation for Raph. He really did. And James and Rob and other people still today have Raph, you know?
Yeah.
And I love Peter. He's a good guy.
I know. I've been knowing Peter for 20 years.
And but anyway, we built it slow. Me and Raph built it back up, and I could see that he was enjoying life, and he was finding out what being sober and clean was, and look where he's at today. I mean, if that ain't God's work, he's got a beautiful little 2-year-old boy that's my grandson. He's fixed to be married to a wonderful person, and I love her. It's all God.
Couldn't ask for a better woman.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for a better little boy. I remember. Gosh, damn. I remember. There's a lot I remember that had been impactful for me, but I remember so me and Bella got together, and she got pregnant. And so it was about a week because we wanted to wait a little bit and kind of just enjoy it for ourselves. And so, you know, I'm like, shit, probably like 3 years sober. No, 2.5, something like 2.5 years sober at the time. And so I called my dad, and what were you doing during that time?
Well, me and Claire was at Sonic's eating cheese sticks, which we love to go to Sonic's and eat cheese sticks.
So I told myself in my head, I was like, he must have just had sex and they're eating cheese sticks. It's the very perfect time.
No, we just was sitting at Sonic's, both of us, and sitting there. We always did it a lot, you know, because we like cheese sticks still today. And we got that call, and it was some,
Kind of like a full circle
yeah,
moment.
it was a happy, tearful, good crying call, what it was. And but anyway, my kids and grandkids, and you know, when they thank me for things, I said, don't thank me, you thank God. And then the reason I'm able to do this, what I'm doing, is because my God Almighty, and that's the facts. You know,
What would you, so obviously, God forbid, what would you tell Rafe if he had to go through something similar with his son that you wish someone would have told you? If that makes sense.
well, the main thing is what I would say, and what I did, is don't give up on him, and pray for him, and get him some help, you know. And then he's got to, Rafe, when he was ready, they're not going to stop until they're ready.
There, yeah.
I mean, I promise you.
Well,
What about
some-
any mistakes you made that were obvious mistakes?
You mean I was spoiling my kids? Oh, I made them weak. No, I did.
I know,
did.
and I love-
did. I made my kids. I hurt my kids.
But it's and it's
I don't have a problem with saying that. It's the facts that I did do that, and I wished I would have made them stronger. Because when I come up, and look, I thank God. I can't tell you, when I come up hard working, and we milked cows before we went to school. We made our own butter. We come in, we hoed cotton, we picked cotton, we hoed beans. We rode a school bus for 35 miles from Lower Vic. I wouldn't trade that for nothing.
Sure.
And it gives me grit, because when I get knocked down, I get up and I fight. I don't give up.
Yeah.
And I've been knocked down a lot.
Yeah.
Trust me, a lot of mistakes I've made in my life, but by the grace of God, it pulled me up. But
And then there's always it's the same thing. It's like, so then it's the same with my family, and it's the natural thing to, it's like I want my kids to have better, right? It's not like you set out to, oh, I'm going to spoil them. It's from the, I work hard to give them a good life sort of thing.
yes, and that's true, and I did say that, but overboard this I went. I made my kids weak. Yes.
Do you
a bad mistake?
Do you think, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but was it like a pendulum swing from like your father to where you were like, I don't want him to view me that way? I don't want to, like, does that make sense? Like, if you can think to how when you
Became a father.
when you became a father, if you can remember your thoughts of like, this is the type of father I want to be to my son.
You know what? When Misty was born, I'll never forget it till this day in DeRidder, Louisiana. And it hit me, and I really got upset with my father and how you could not be there for your children. That really got me. I'm gonna tell you, I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really did. It was tough. Took me a lot of years to let all that go. It was when I did let it go, it was like the whole world lifted off of me, and yeah, it was hard.
What was like, so, and I still have that video in my phone.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it.
Yeah, where, so March 21st, 2024 at 5:04 p.m., little man's born. And, yeah, I go back and forth because when he was born, he wasn't breathing because he was laying on the umbilical cord. And so the nurses are in there, and I'm running back and forth. Like, it was the most impactful moment of my life. But then it was the most scary moment in my life because I thought I was about to lose the person I've been waiting to meet my entire life, basically. And then I hear him cry. And I hear him cry. And then so I run into the in the waiting room, and I couldn't wait to see you.
Yeah.
I could and I was so grateful to celebrate that with Bella first, but there was a part of me that was like, all right, now go to your dad, go tell your dad, and we hugged each other, and it wasn't this father-son thing, it was a father-father thing, where we were looking at each other like we're both, oh shit.
Yeah.
We're both fathers.
Yeah.
And what was that moment like for you?
It was, I can't really explain it. It was I cried so much from happiness.
Yeah.
That, my son come from death in an attic, and he's got a little boy.
Bringing new life.
And yes, it was unreal, and I got 2 grandkids, Connor and Lily, and I basically helped raise them with my daughter, me and her together, and I love my kids and grandkids. I love them grandkids like my kids.
Oh yeah, you might love them more.
Yeah.
That could be a little possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're okay with
All the
it.
Yeah.
bonus
Yeah.
without,
Yeah, he don't have the responsibility. He just gets
yeah,
to love them.
Yeah.
I'm already looking forward to grandkids.
No, well, and it's funny because like, and there's just always this thing about like wanting your approval of things, like not all things, but like certain things, like if it's like work ethic or yada yada. But a big thing for me was like having your approval as a father, as me being a father. And I remember the first time I felt it real, without you saying anything. He was like maybe a month old, and he woke up from a nap, or he was trying to go down for a nap, and I was, just talking to him and rocking him and, patting him. And I remember looking at you, and you started to cry, and I was like, well, wait, what's wrong? And you were like, no, it's nothing. And I was like, no, what is it? And then, do you remember that moment? Because I remember it, and you were just like, you're just a great father, and that made it for me.
Rafe is, I got to give it to him. I'd have to give him a 10 plus as a father. Yeah, I mean, he's just a good father. So proud of that. I tell you, my daughter, she's same as Rafe. She's a great mother. She is. See, they love their children, and I love this. That makes me.
Is it like validating for you a little bit as a father? Because I'm sure I already know. I mean, I have a daughter, and there's already the built-in fear of like making sure that I'm doing enough, making sure that I'm raising him right, all that stuff. So it's got to be a little bit of a sense of like, whew, I did all right.
Yeah. Well, Misty and Rafe did a lot better than I did raising kids. I mean, it's the
I mean, you
facts.
think so?
Well,
I think you did pretty all right.
Well, but I made them weak, and that's not a good thing. I promise you, I know that for a fact.
Maybe I think he's strong in.
But because I come up, it was hard, but I
Yeah.
love it. I would trade nothing for it, because it gave me the work ethics to get out and get it, and just don't give up. You get
Yeah.
knocked down, get up, and you fight, and
Rafe couldn't milk no cows
no,
at 4 in the morning.
no. He
My strengths come
Rafe.
from other things, from milking cows.
yeah, they
Rafe can play
they live
cow
in a
milk simulator on the video game,
yeah,
probably.
different world than what I come up in.
Different world.
Yeah, totally.
Well, and going to that, though, man, and it's still to this day, like, honest to God, it hurts, like, because there's a lot of truth in the I guess there's another word for it, but weak. And like, for me, like, when
Right.
I hear that, I'm like, no, but also yes, in a sense of like,
In like a very specific avenue.
specific. Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. So like, when you say it, I hear like, I can't show up, I can't do this, and a part of that like motivated me. It still motivates me, like, especially like especially working out. I'm like, oh, you think, like, or like whatever these things are, it's motivated me to be better in certain areas of my life. And I know you don't mean it in the sense of like mean or rudeness or like hurtfulness, but I know you mean it in like the honesty of like, you taught us, you didn't teach us to lean on ourselves, you taught us to lean on you.
That's true.
And that's what you mean. I know that's what you mean.
Well, that's making you all weak.
Yeah, but there's I know, we're totally different
yeah.
generations. I get it. I totally get it. But no, but you mean, from us leaning on you and being codependent on you.
Yeah.
Because there's that old saying, the only thing wrong with parents is that they have parents, right? And it applies because it's like, do you think that you did the best that you could with what you had in raising your kids?
Well, I'm not saying I did the best. I think I know.
I would say you did.
Well, I did. I was there for them. I should have had them in church more. And if I had that to do with, I would, and even myself. I mean, okay, all right,
Counter argument too. I was raised in the church and still became full blown heroin
I
addict.
understand,
Yep.
but you come back.
That's true.
You come back
That's true.
to that.
I had a foundation.
Yeah. So my hope of Rafe and his family and Misty and their family, which Lily, my little granddaughter, did get baptized and recent in the last month, and I was so happy of that. And but to
And I think I'm protective of her dads too, because my mom is more. I always tell her all the time, like, I hold nothing. You did the best that you could. Wouldn't trade it for anything. But yeah. And believe me, I'm working on Rafe in the God department.
Yeah.
We gonna get him yet.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
know, you know what the funny thing is there too is like I think I hold my dad to a higher standard because I hold myself to a higher standard almost in the sense of like, I guess it's super old school, but like, oh, you know, man amongst men kind of thing. And so like whenever, for me, I don't know, man, I think a big part of like a bad part of myself today is like always like reflecting on the negatives and like always sticking to like what could have been done better. And like, man, like, is there things you could have done better? No doubt. Did you do the best you could? I 110% believe that at the bottom of my heart you did phenomenal. Because I think, one, I wouldn't trade you for any father in the world. And I know that Superman wasn't hard to find. And he didn't wear a cape. He wore, you know, dumbass shorts like you do and some goofy ass shoes. But you were there. You were always there for me. You were always there for me. I didn't ever have to look hard. You were right there. And to, you know, I remember the hard lessons you had taught me too, like just continuously showing up. Like your discipline level of showing up to things even when you were dying inside is admirable. Like even it taught me at a young age when I was going through the being called a rapist as a kid, and you kept saying, go to school, just keep going, the truth will come to light, the truth will come to light. And this is a whole 6 months of doing that. And I would come home crying every day, Daddy, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school. They think I'm this, they think I'm that. And then boom, that got lifted. And then people saw what it was and the reality that I didn't. And then even in like recovery, continuously pushing me like, you know, just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And I think a big part of me, and it ties back even to like, you know, when you and Mom got a divorce, I wanted to be such a part of you that I picked up football. I hated football. And we went to the first game I ever went to was the 2003 National Championship. Me, you, Brian, and Todd Fair. And we sat next to Snoop Dogg. And I thought that was the only cool part. And I saw you love the game.
Oh, I loved it.
And you loved it. And you know what I did? I studied football, and I knew the old school from 1950s to 2005
Right
better
there.
than any
He
human
knew
being
football.
in Central
It was
Louisiana.
amazing.
And I mean, I could talk to him about the Pittsburgh Steelers of the 70s. I could name the whole roster, top to bottom, every Super Bowl winner. Talk about Jake the Snake, Kenny Stabler, all these guys. But it was to grow closer to you. And then I think when it comes to like my work today, it's the same. It looks different, our work. But like when it comes to getting things done and doing a great job, like my first year of working at Victory, I think I did a really damn good job. But the reason I did was because I wanted to show you to some extent, like I can do things that I never thought I was capable of.
Yeah, I knew you were capable of it. Yeah, you have it in you, and I promise you it's there, and you got a lot more. But you just be consistent, be patient.
Yep.
Patience will bring you a long ways.
Yep.
And that's what has got me a long ways in my life is patience. And you got to crawl before you walk. You just can't. You can't start on the top. And
You always tell me that.
yeah, and that's true.
I always want to start running.
You just watch it. Yeah.
And
We
that's
watch our
Ray's-
kids see when
Ray's
they run, they
problem.
just run
Well, he
straight into a wall.
Ray wants to start on top.
Yeah.
You know, you can't do
Yep.
that, son. It don't work like that, you know.
I know. Oh, trust me.
You
I've
don't
talked
start
to,
out with a Charizard. I'll put it in language you can understand.
Yeah.
You don't start out with a Charizard.
Charizard's
You couldn't
a
handle
Charmander.
them, bro. You
Yeah.
got to start with a Charmander.
Well, and it's funny. I was talking to Jed about it last night about certain things, and it's just like, no, we're right where we need to be.
Yep.
And that's, you know, thank God I got friends like, you know, Jed and Trayvon and so many others where I'm able to lean on not just my father, but these people that I hope to have in my life till I die. And it's been really cool. But like the cool thing about like all this journey is like, you know, before I even got into it, you know, you used to pray like, God, just take them, and you don't say that
did.
prayer anymore.
You know.
And that's
But that's how much I loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and because I did the
Oh, that's unconditional.
Yeah.
The devil had him, and he wanted to die. Rafe did. He really wanted, and it was and for me to sit there
And watch that
talk
suffering.
and pray to God that to take my son, as much as I love my kids, it was tough.
Yeah. What we got like 5 minutes left. What any I mean you've definitely said it with the faith, and that's what that is the answer, because it's without it I don't know. I don't know what you're left with, not much. But what any final words that you would once again
This please don't give up on your family, your son, your daughter, husband, wife. Don't give up on them. Please pray for them. Have faith. I know it's hard. Trust me, I know. I've been through it. And stick with them. And most of the time things will work out itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Rick?
Yeah.
Man, there's so much, man.
It is.
I think trying to find the common grounds and what you do with like relationships, like for instance, like me and my father, like we don't agree on the same things, but like finding the things that we do agree on and growing from them and respecting each other on the other end of, just because we don't agree doesn't mean it doesn't have to be this like back and forth, up and down relationship. I wouldn't, like I said, like, I'm getting married in August, and my father and my son are both my best man, and like, that's a testament of like what the relationship has been like, and it's through like pain and suffering, but also love and laughter, and I mean, I could name countless times where I thought this was it, and then there's countless times where I just wanted to relive that moment with my dad. And now, like, to have that moment sketched in history of my life of having my father and my son in a tuxedo next to me will forever and always be a part of my life and in my heart. And so, yeah, man, I if that was a message, that's it. I think another thing I'd like to say, July 18th, we're doing a live event where we'll be partnering with Built by the Red Stick, sponsored by Steps Treatment Center. And we're really grateful for that opportunity. But my mother and father are coming together to make a little foundation to make a donation to the people that are early in sobriety. And I want to tell you thank you for that, because as we know, is like people like me don't have it like that. And so when they get out, maybe their families disowned them, maybe whatever is happening, maybe they never had a family to get from. And they don't have an opportunity to really grow because the struggle is so big. Yeah. And you and my mother helping and donating is going to be so much. It's good. You don't understand how impactful that is, and I really appreciate that. Just to know that that's what my father and mother do, and it prompts me to do that. And even from back in the day when y'all built angel houses or whatever it was, y'all always were part of a community. And so I wanted to say thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. I love y'all.
We love you too.
I want to thank you, and I'm here to help someone.
Yep.
And that's why I come, and that's why I go speak at Victory, because I see those people where I was at, and it just breaks my heart to see them suffer like they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
All right. Thank you.
Love it.
All right. Don.
Y'all did great.
Good job, Dan.